sort of bring up the young riders.
Bonin right in the centre there. Bernie Eisel and Matthew Heyman have come to the front for Team Sky. Two big motors, if there ever were any. And Juan Alfredo doing the same for La Française des Jeux. Big task here for BMC as well. We've talked about the stage win. They've got to keep Matthias Frank out of trouble, get him over the line safely and in the main group.
Yeah, and this is a finish as well where you want to watch out a little bit in terms of time gaps opening up. You know, if there's clear daylight between two riders in the middle of the peloton, then the time is taken from the guy that crosses the line first to the front part of what would then be a second group, if you will. So say there's 10-15 meters of daylight between two riders in the peloton, then all of a sudden, you know, you could be 20-25 seconds off the front group, and with that, you know, for Matthias Frank, that could be potentially disastrous in terms of his yellow jersey.
But remember, the lead he has isn't the greatest at the moment. Just 20 odd seconds. 19 kilometres to go. Left here at the roundabout. Back towards the main road. 23 seconds to be exact. Back to Roman Korziger, who's seen hovering at the front as well, waiting, ready to take advantage. And he's a man who can take off. We saw it in Amstel Gold, remember. Pedalled away from the peloton with great ease as part of the little group. BMC been alert to danger. They've put a nice big set of riders on the front and just keeping things under control while they can.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really had to do anything, as we got Gilbert up there as well. He might be, you know, they might be trying to sort of protect the yellow jersey, but then again, you know, setting things up for Gilbert in terms of a finish for a stage win. So they're kind of taking two flies in one hit here.
3 minute front, one of which is Marcus Berghardt, big frame rider. There is number 72 coming through to take his turn on the front. Greg van Avermaet just behind Matthias Frank there in yellow. Van Avermaet also very, very useful on these types of climbs as well. Certainly if Philippe Gilbert's thinking of something, those two in tandem could be a real headache for anybody else.
Yeah, and Greg van Avermaet, you know, you've got to remember, when he came onto the scene, to the professional scene, he was a sprinter. He was very, very fast indeed. Like, he was challenging for bunch sprints left, right and centre. And then he's always had this thing about the Amstel Gold race where he really wants to do a spectacular ride at the Amstel Gold, and with that he changed. He leaned up an awful lot. You hardly recognised him from one season to the other. So he obviously worked very, very hard over the winter and came back, and he was climbing very, very well indeed. So with that, I think he's still got certain characteristics of being that sprinter, but maybe not as quick as he used to be.
Still an interesting man to watch. As you see Marcus Berghardt in the front. He took the 6 points on the second sprint of the day. None of them were really interested in contesting it. Of course, Michael Scheer in second, with TJ van Garderen in third, taking a point in that as well. A couple of Radio Shack jerseys there. A real strong sprinter for them here. All-round team that's been taken to a few races recently, and you have to worry for them and their future. I mean, Fabian Cancellara, who's picked up the big results in the spring. Apart from that, there has been little hopes to write home about. Of course, Jens Voigt's win, we talked about that yesterday in the Tour of California. In terms of big wins, we've seen not much else from Radio Shack. After that, all the problems behind the scene. Now then,
the Swiss are out in force, BMC, and then I Am on the way up.
I Am cycling. You mentioned Heinrich Hausler. Good bet today. There's Arnaud Demar, who's got a great record of, when he wins one stage, going on to pick up several more. We saw it this year in particular at the 4 days of Dunkirk. There's the aforementioned Elmiger as well. Kudos to him. What a busy day it's been. He's driven quite a few kilometres this morning to sort his family out and be a very happy new father. And he's out on the bike doing his day job to very good effect at the minute for his main man today, which will be Heinrich Hausler. Martin Köhler, who, remember, wasn't really down to ride this race, was supposed to be going to the Dauphiné. A couple of mechanical problems earlier on in the stage today. up there doing his bit of work for BMC.
I want to say that for I think it's too early for them to hit the front yet and sort of challenge BMC for the control of the peloton. You know, if it's House that they're thinking about and trying to set up a sprint for him, then just calm down, stay back there, and just you know, let BMC set the pace and make sure that you stay into the one side of the road and you're staying controlled together and you're ready to move, because you know, 16 kilometers out, it's an awful long way for any team to take on their own.
Stefan Denif, the Austrian rider in the aero helmet third wheel. Hollenstein, the rider just in front of him. Guarnieri and Gasparotto are the two riders from Astana. Not too far behind them, Peter Sagan. "16 kilometers to go. On our way up now to the Zurzakkerberg. I am still pulling down at the front.
Yeah, but they're having to work really hard to keep control of the peloton and stay ahead of the other trains and teams that are coming up there wanting to position their riders. And you know, when you get pushed a little bit like this, then you tend to work too much, too hard, and way too early on in the stage as well. 15 kilometers to go. You don't want to do this until probably about 4, maybe 5 kilometers out, and that is if you've got the whole of the team together. You can just about put off a 5k to go thing. You need round about 4 riders left in front of your sprinter with 1.5 kilometers to be able to launch a sprint correctly and to the right distance. Remember today, if you are leading out, you want that lead out man to not drop you off before 150 meters to the line. You want to stay there and just have that progressive power output all the way up this climb, and then really bring it on the last 150 meters.
Matthew Heyman just in front of Heinrich Hausler. Well, a lot of these guys, as we go on to the final climb of the day, anybody worried about somebody attacking on the descent maybe here? Hence the reason they're wanting to ride quickly on the front?
I don't think you'll have anyone really going for on the descent. You might have a couple of guys having a go here. You know, certainly someone like Euskaltel having a go on.
And here we go. As if on cue, we talked about Jorge Asansa. And for the second day running, you've called it, Magnus. Jorge Asansa, as we said earlier on today, had been tweeting away saying that he really wanted to light up the race. He tried it earlier on in the week, and here he goes again.
Yeah, it's you know, for a rider like this to have a go on the climb, build up, you know, maybe 15-20 second gap, and then try and drop down the other side, you know, and extend on that lead again. That's what you want. But looking at for IM Cycling, who's obviously got charge of the peloton at the moment, this is probably a good thing for them, because it means that it can just settle down a little bit. People will go, all right, we don't leave him out there. It's going to cause less carnage if we don't bring him back too early on. Is one rider, we can grab him if he's got half a minute. We can grab him in less than 2 kilometers. And you know, like I said, for IM Cycling, they can probably just back off that little bit. We've seen there's no one else really challenging them going up this climb. So that was a good move for both Euskaltel, obviously, and Asansa, and also for IM Cycling.
11 seconds he has at the minute on the peloton. Vladimir Isaichev just riding and struggling to keep on the back of the group. Josh Edmondson is the other rider just in front of him, Dombrovski. And here comes the 30-year-old Jorge Asansa from Alsasua and Navarra, northern Spain. He's already been on the deck this week. You can see that right elbow bandaged up. Not an easy week, but one that is bringing in plenty of things at the front, and I am doing a bit of work chasing that.
Yeah, they're certainly putting a big effort in on this climb, and quite a few guys pulling a few faces in there. The question is, can they get rid of some of the on this particular climb and leave them behind there? That's probably what they are wanting to do with that kind of an effort. But looking at the way Boonen was climbing, certainly the way Peter Sagan's climbing, Degenkolb looked okay yesterday on the climb. I don't think they're going to get rid of enough guys, you know, to sort of make it worth that kind of an effort. And also in this case now, where they've got a couple of strong boys on the front riding, where's Heinrich Hausler?
The question is as well, where's Tom Boonen? Certainly not in the front part of the group. There he is, nice and safely coming up towards the back. Surprised that he's not at the front, given the fact that he was showing strength on the last climb, just perhaps reserving something for what is to come.
Well, as a sprinter, you know, if you know that you're safe, you're going to stay in the group, and it's far enough from the top of the climb to the finish, what you would do is you start the climb very, very much near the front, and you just drift yourself back through the peloton, just meaning that you're putting that little bit less pressure on your pedals, saving your legs a little bit. As soon as the road starts going down, then you drop down, using your technical skills to get yourself back up near the front. A couple of teammates around you to bring you back up again, and you're there, and you've spent a lot less energy.
Sansa's little adventure is over.
Thomas Löfqvist on the front there for IAM.
Well, Jorge Sansa also perhaps being sent out there by the team. Didn't really think about that with Robert Vrecha, remember, in the King of the Mountains jersey at the moment. Any points that can be gobbled up by Euskadi teammates will be welcome ones. 83 kilometers per hour at the minute.
Just wonder whether this could be a stage that lends itself to a nice bit of a Cancellara attack in the final kilometre and a half.
Oh, where is he? Fabian. The pressure really is on him to at least win a stage this week.
Yeah, I think he needs to sort of pull something out of the bag, and he had a bit of bad luck there in the prologue with the wind changing direction and strength quite dramatically. You know, I think if it'd been the same conditions all the way through, he probably would have got it. But not to take anything away from Cam Meyer, obviously did a fantastic ride the way it was, and cycling is that way. You know, you've got to have the conditions on your side as well.
Now, Jozak, Spa Town, right on the border with Germany. Peloton will leave it for the final time as we head back towards slightly south and in towards the town of Leugen. Everything back together with 10 kilometers to go. IAM Cycling. Remember, Heinrich Hausler is the man they want to put in the right position today. There's confirmation of what we were telling you just a few seconds ago. Jorge Sansa taking 3 points. Thomas Löfqvist coming up and taking 2. Doing a little bit of climbing work for IAM Cycling, testing his legs. Now he's back on the bike.
Yeah, it looks like BMC are now going to help out a little bit and keep the pressure on this peloton.
A few Blanco riders. Not seen them since Marco Mollema took the yellow jersey on stage 2 up to Crans Montana, climbing so well together. A little anonymous since. So we're heading over towards the border crossing point. There's Tamer Kanga in the Estonian champions jersey. Arnaud Demar nice and close to the front in that points jersey as well. Matthias Frank sitting comfortably at the minute, ready to pounce just in case there was a problem. Right behind him is the second place for Man Kreuziger. Should be a simple job for them. Peter Sagan with Philippe Gilbert just behind him waits for action too. Gaspar Otto in there, another man that you should be looking out for here. He's been interested in this all the way through. He's been right in the front bit of that group for the last 30-40 Ks. And now it is Vacon Soleil pulling. Looks to be Mirko Selvaggi to me. One of the Radio Shack riders follows the move as well. Katusha also interested.
I think that was meant as a bit of an attack, but obviously the peloton are quite vigilant at this time. You know, they don't really want to let anyone get out and get too far. You know, 9 kilometers to go. They want to try and control this now.
And Radio Shack marshalling it, suggesting that what you said a moment ago might well be true. Maxime Montfort is hanging around too. The man who marshalled that attack, by the way, was Andy Kloeden. For Cancellara, it's the number 31 you want to spot.
Saxo Bank were trying to bring up Daniele Benati on the left-hand side of the road, but just got squeezed a little bit with that left-hand turn coming up, so you're more than likely to see them in the next couple of seconds coming up here, and just trying to find a good position going into the final 5 kilometres or so.
Still plenty of Française des Jeux presence looking after Arnaud Demar. Good job though by BMC here. Very good job indeed. Canada hastily trying to make sure they have enough men around Peter Sagan. The Shimano starting to form a train of 3, 4, 5 riders including as well.
Yeah, they're doing it in the way that I would like to see it done. You know, they're sitting there, they're keeping one rider on the front. He's still having a little bit of a sit on the riders next to him, so he's getting, just working a little bit less, but trying to stay together, trying to keep themselves in a position where they can move out and get clear and open up the power. But they're not actually challenging for the front part of the peloton. So what you'll see then is probably around about, as soon as we've done the last left-hand turn as it is, that's when they start getting close to the front and really starting to put the pressure on.
Berghardt and Sher it was there for BMC. Zerrada is the rider for Movistar. Lampre will be having a go with Chimolai again, I'm sure. Roberto Ferrari, remember, for them. Podium trend has become a little lost. They're making their way back to the front again. Just one rider now in front of Heinrich Hausler, and that rider is Reto Hollenstein.
Yeah, Hollenstein needs to stay where he is now, not move any further forward, just try and get in there and get a little bit of cover so he doesn't have to pull all the wind himself.
Gasparotto making sure he is close to the front. Just in that little section we saw 3 riders wearing Orica Green Edge jerseys, making sure that they're in place as well. Remember, Albazini second choice, Matt Goss I'm sure their preferred option for the sprint. Kohler it is in the Swiss Champions jersey on the right hand side of your picture, and on the left hand side Saxo Bank looking to set up Daniele Benati.
Yeah, and it's Tosato that's on the front already, strangely enough.
Remember, we said Alexander Kristoff too. Katusha are working very well for him here. Smukulis it is at the front. Now Berghardt comes through for BMC. Smukulis still at the head of the bunch. Just behind him is Matteo Tosato, and he's certainly a man who knows when and how to set up these types of occasions.
Yeah, the strange thing is that they're using Tosato very early on, and Benati's already in second wheel. They might not be happy with this. They might not be happy with Benati doing the sprint even, because they've certainly got other riders in the team who are capable of putting out a good sprint.
Selvaggi on that near-sided chain, trying to thrust himself through to the front. And the boy Van Poppel, the sprinter in the Vacances Soleil team.
Might even be a Matti Breschel day.
Well, certainly with the change in profile, we said it is not for all the pure sprinters, this one.
No, it's not, and Breschel has proven in the past that he's quite good on these kind of finishes.
Well, there is Fabian Cancellara. If he's going to try something, I'm afraid he's in the wrong place at the minute.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Benati, second wheel. Breschel well protected, and Tosato is the man at the front. Sky now coming from the left-hand side, and hot on the heels of a couple of Sky riders is Tom Bonen. Looks fairly isolated, but he's in the right place. Same could be said of Peter Sagan, who doesn't have any teammates around him, but I'm sure, as we all know, he can certainly look after himself.
Yeah, I wonder who Sky is going for, because there's only 3 of them there, and out of the 3 that they got, okay, Matt Heyman is quite a fast man, but I would say that probably Luke Rowe is a better finish on this type of a final.
4 kilometres to go until that final. Across the river, left turn coming up, and then it is that final drag in towards the right turn. We go under the Flamme Rouge first, kilometre to go, 500 metres, and then it really goes uphill.
And watch the boys in white on your left hand side of your screen here now. They're sitting in a position exactly where they need to be. As soon as they go over this bridge, turn left, you probably start seeing them challenging for the control of the peloton.
Lots of big names want this, and are playing their cards just at the right time. Orica Green Edge again, it's Albazini on the front for them. That suggests that it's a Matt Goss day, they think.
Yeah, Matt Goss should be good on this finish, definitely.
We did a very, very good sprint yesterday. I think if the line perhaps was another metre or two further forward, he'd have won that. Here is that left turn we talked about. Those who aren't interested slowly start to drift out of the back. They want to be out of the way. It's quite narrow on the way up as well into the line, you have to say.
Yeah, I think that it's certainly that squeeze point with the right-hand turn and then straightening away a little bit of a left-hander. That's going to sort of string the peloton out. So you're going to have to see even the GC contenders really wanting to put themselves near the front. And I'm a bit surprised to see Roman Kreuziger doing a lot of work on the front right here now, because if he ends up in a bad position, then all of a sudden he's going to have all sorts of trouble coming up the finishing climb.
Well, we saw BMC working to protect Matthias front not long ago. Now that has changed. It's Philippe Gilbert who's at the back of the two men here, and they're trying to put him into the right place to have a go as well. Very, very interesting indeed. Orica Green Edge hit the front at just the right time, you think?
Yeah, they're coming through in the right way there, and just keeping themselves together, leaving Albacini to take the first part. There's a couple of riders coming up on your right hand side there from I Am Cycling. We said we might have gone too early, but they found a man to put Heinrich Hausler right at the front of the peloton. What Heinrich wants to do here now, though, is try and move around and maybe gap back on Matt Goss's wheel. They, Orica Green Edge take the sort of help each other to get into the final corner, and then Heinrich would be in a very good wheel to get himself to that final 150 metres.
Katusha remind everybody that they have Kristoff as well. Tyler Farrer in the right place on the left hand side. Can he keep it towards the end? Remember, he's been sprinting well enough, all about positioning, doesn't have any teammates around him. Same can be said of Tom Bonan as well.
Cookie's looking for Matt Goss. He's ended up on the front with no teammates around him, and it's just a little bit on the tight side on the back there, on the left hand side with the Argos riders.
Well, I'm afraid that Matt Goss isn't even in the shot there.
He's coming up on the right hand side. He was having a bit of a moment there with Pete Sagan.
1 kilometre to go then into Leugen, stage 5 of the Tour de Suisse, and we have our first little dot off the front.
Andrei Kasheshkin going on the front.
Kasheshkin trying to lead it out and get ready now, because Gasparotto is not too far behind, 5 or 6 wheels. Francis de Jure want to get their men in and get Arnaud Demar, I should say, in the right place specifically. Sagan is perfectly positioned, and here comes the big right-hand turn.
Yes, how long can his teammate hold on to this though for? Because it's 500 metres to go round about now.
There we go. Sagan being followed, and it is more or less every big man for themselves now. Hold on if you can. Berghoff pushing a big gear for BMC, having a go.
Matthew Brescia's in a good wheel here as well. He's coming up there just next to Pete Sagan.
Simon Geske was the wheel that he was on. Sagan, Brescia, Sagan on the left-hand side, look for that, and Demar right on Sagan's wheel. This is anybody's still. Brescia spinning away, Kristoff right next to him. It's Brescia on the right-hand side, Kristoff in the centre, Peter Sagan, but look out for Arnaud Demar as well. But it is going to be Alexander Kristoff of Katusha who holds on for the last couple of 100 metres. That is a mega show of strength and endurance. Hat off to him. A quite brilliant sprint. And again, for the second day in succession, Peter Sagan has been beaten. Alexander Kristoff, the star from Stavanger in Norway, improving season upon season, and this year, as well as doing well on his home tour, has taken a big stage on a big sprint on the Tour de Suisse.
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, you didn't really see him until maybe 200, just over 200 metres to go, and then all of a sudden he was just there, and the drive that he has, he's just so strong. Absolute unit of a man.
Sagan can't live with him. Neither can Arnaud Demar. Was looking good for a brief section there when he came up on the wheel of Sagan. Didn't quite have the power to carry it through.
I think Arnaud went that little bit too early. You know, he needed to stay seated and stay with the guys for a little bit longer rather than going out that way too early as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he gets the congratulations from his teammates, the thanks for their work that's been well done as well. Smukulis there on the left-hand side, that's Vorganov as well, as he's being told that he doesn't have to rush by the UCI chaperone. Confirmation then, another top 7 for Davide Cimolai, who immediately jumps out there. Top 5 for Heinrich Hausler, Matt Goss as well in 6th, Van Poppel, Impian Guarnieri, but the big men up the top, Kristoff, Sagan, Demar, Bressel and Hausler, all making up the top 5 on what was a very entertaining sprint after 178.4 kilometres. For this man, it's been another good day. Yellow jersey yet again.
with 25 points being awarded on the flatter stages and only 15 for the mountain finishes. You know, there's certainly a possibility for him to hold on to that.
He's going to have another go tomorrow as well, as will all the sprinters. fairly flat for the second half of the stage. Just that one little third category climb, very, very close to the line. It will be an invitation to anyone who wants to attack there. But again, it's all about how the sprinters' trains do their job towards the end of that stage. Everybody moves around and gets into position for the presentation. Jens Vogt riding across the line. There's Robert Bretscher as well in the King of the Mountains jersey. This is it from the bottom of the hill. Sagan was in a good place there, but again, Manny had in front of him, had to hold on for a little longer, you suspect.
Yeah, he got left on the front there a little bit too early, and you know, the rider's going for it straight, pretty much straight off the block here, and it's just such a long way up to the finish.
You see Matt Heyman almost getting knocked off on the way up there as well. Certainly put his line off. Bressel fading towards the end as well. Strong sprinting, strong riding all the way through from Alexander Kristoff though. And he's almost ready to speak to us here.
Alexander, this was a very long sprint. How did you live the situation?
Yeah, I knew this sprint as I did the dipping in the GP, and then we did this uphill 15 times, so I knew I could maybe make it from 150 meters, but it was maybe a little bit long, but I managed to pull the other guys off, so I'm really happy.
And what does this victory mean to you?
It's my biggest victory, I think, actually, because it's my first World Tour, and I'm really happy.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thanks.
You heard it from the man himself. His biggest victory. Congratulations, Alexander Kristoff. So after the thumbs up and the handshakes comes the presentation. And we're all ready to see it as well. And here he is. I'm sure his presence will even interrupt that.
Alexander Kristoff, vi gratulerar Peter Nippler, gemeinsamen OK-president here in Lanken.
And of course Thor Hushovd, another Norwegian sprinter, has gone off the ball over the last couple of years, but here's the man maybe to take his place for the Norwegian nation.
I don't think we've seen the last of Thor Hushovd just yet. Some pretty horrible illnesses last year, and you know, he seems to be getting better and better, and I'm sure he'll be back for another.
At the minute though, the man filling in for him, Alexander Kristoff, is up on the podium as a winner for Norway and Katusha. And this is how it happened. After 178.4 kilometers, Alexander Kristoff beat Peter Sagan and Arnaud Demar with Bressel, Hausler, Goss, Chimolai, Guarnieri, Van Poppel and Impi into the top 10. It's the only team getting 2 men inside the top 10. The sun is still shining as we approach 7 p.m. in the evening. It's been another beautiful afternoon here in Switzerland. We saw the fan club Peter Sagan out there riding today's route earlier on. Too far from Slovakia. A nice little journey to come and support their national hero. And here he is again. He's getting to know these different towns, trying on that yellow jersey for them, and they will be hoping that it stays the same until Sunday evening. The third day in succession on the top of the podium as the leader of the Tour de Suisse. Matthias Frank, the BMC, American team with the Swiss sponsor, really enjoying their time out there. The leader, the 77th edition of this race. He seems happy about it as well. We're used to seeing him perform here in this race year in, year out, but not to this extent. The team did a good job for him again today. This is how it stands on the general classification. 23 seconds ahead of Roman Korziger front leads. Rui Costa in third place and giving himself a chance. And Thibaut Pinot again on Swiss roads inside the top 5. Bauke Mollema in 5th. Dan Martin is there, as is Tanel Kango. Jean-Christophe Perrault a minute and 28 behind. TJ Van Garderen in 9th. With Cameron Meyer in 10th. Well, we talked about the points jersey being a possibility for Peter Sagan. They didn't get to see a win today, but they're going to get to see him on the podium. And he will be wearing the polka dot jersey tomorrow as the leader now of the points classification with Peter Sagan. Before that, though, we'll get to see Robert Vreča, still king of the mountains, and Euskaltel up there for another day. Been a nightmare start to the season for the Basque team. They're getting there though, however Vreča has to be careful. A lot of climbing still to be done over what will be now the final 3 days. And thanks to Jorge Asansa and his good work on the final lap round. Any possible rivals such as Roman Korziger, who's next up, and who was at the front of that group earlier on, 7 points behind.